Welcome back to Aquatics Live YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell and all that jazz. Hey guys, well I'm gonna get started on building up the wheels or the hub motors for the motorized trailer BattleBot project. Anyway, so we got the battery built last video. Now I'm gonna get put these wheels together. They come like this. This is a hub motor off of a hoverboard. They have different ones depending on the weight, and this is like the wider one. So you, like when you're shopping around, you have to like look around and see which type you want. There's skinnier ones and wider ones, and then there's some for lighter weights and heavier weights and different things. So you just got to spend some time kind of searching through what's out there. But my idea with these is that I want to put these tires on there. And I'll give you a cheat on this. These are some like Chinese brand, or which isn't a bad thing or whatever, but they're called Shin tires. Anyway, I tried a few different ones, so this took me a bit. These are much like softer rubber than some of the other ones, and they seem to fit better on the motors anyway. So I wanted to make sure I pointed out the brand and everything. Then the size is 4.10 by 3.5 by 5 inch for the rim. And what you're looking for is the ones that have tubes, and they're 2-ply, so they're less stiff. But this particular brand, this Shin brand, seems to work the best. I'll put the link to where I bought them from in the video description. So anyway, so you got the tire, we got a tube. The one thing with the tube is that the valve stem needs to be like this metal style that's at a 90-degree bend, because these hub motors don't really, I mean, they're not made to have a air or anything, so there's no hole for the valve stem to come through. So we're gonna have to make a hole for that to go through. So we need one that has a metal valve stem, and it's at a 90 degrees, so it can come through fairly shallow to the outside, because the motor's in the middle. So anyway, now to get these apart, they have the screws here on the inside, going all around. You got to pull those out, and then this cover comes off, and you can get it down to this piece comes off, and the tire's on here. Right here on this lip here, you can get like a really big flat tip screwdriver and work your way around it and pull the tire off of there. So then you have this nice and separated. Getting this out of there for this process is rather difficult. It's not that they're really stuck in there hard, it's that this thing's got a whole bunch of magnets around inside of here, and of course this this doesn't want to come out of there. It's super hard to pull out of the magnets, but with enough wiggling around and pulling, it comes apart. So don't get too worried about it. Just take some time of working your way around and loosening it up, and then it can pull out of there. Anyhow, so I'm going to go through getting this ready for drilling first. So I haven't done this one yet. I've already completed another one off camera, so I know the process. So I wanted to kind of share that with you in this video. And then in this video, we're going to put the two wheels on the on the motorized trailer, BattleBot, whatever you want to call it. So let's get this put together first. I got the stuff all here ready to go. So I'm going to switch you around and we'll do like a video of me getting this set up here. All right, welcome back, guys. All right, so we got this ready here. I'm going to show you where to drill that hole and how to mark this up first. And so first off, we're going to take between these two of the holes on here, we're going to draw a line from the bottom of the hole to the other bottom of the hole. So get our marker and we'll get those lined up. So then the next step is we got our line there. Now we got to figure out where we're going to do it from here to here. And then here's the deal is there's these grooves in here on this particular one. I'm going to pick a location where there's already a recessed spot to go through. And just verify that there's nothing crazy going on inside here that's going to be in the way. Now it looks like we're going to be fine. And so in this case, I want to pick this spot like right in the middle of here. So I'm just going to kind of eyeball it up and go right to the middle of that, which is, I think it was like 19 millimeters from the edge of the hole for this particular one. So anyway, we got our line where we're gonna go ahead and drill here, and then we want the hole to go through here and come out over here. But we got to be careful that we don't drill into these magnets inside of here. So when we're drilling, want to come in at this kind of angle and go straight out the side and ensure we go above the magnets. The one thing that kind of helps us in this situation, this is aluminum and these are, the aluminum is not going to stick to the magnets, but we also want to try to keep some of that stuff from getting in here too. So I'm going to put like a paper towel in there and try to get that so it stays nice. So I'll go ahead and drill the hole and then I'll show you what it looks like next here, and then we'll clean it up and we can start assembling the wheel. Okay, well, we got the hole drilled now on the cover here, and goes through the side here. What I am going to do, although this won't affect anything, the hole's fine and it's a metal tube, but I am going to go ahead and I'm going to file up this little pinch point up here. And I would suggest that for anybody is just kind of go through and check any sharp spots. Mostly the main area you're kind of concerned with is where the tube's going to be. And this seems pretty good. I'm just going to take these two corner edges off and any like little burrs in here that might, get little fragments of aluminum down in there. You don't want to shorting anything out or ripping a hole in the tube. So just file. It's really, it's aluminum, so it's pretty soft. It files off pretty quick. Just getting the edges kind of cleaned up a little bit. Not much to it. And I'm not going to take off too much of that, just getting the edges off of it. So it's good enough. And then we'll do this one. Got the little needle file. I'm just going to work my way around the edge and take any burrs off of there. Stuff that might fall in. And that's pretty much it. We're good to go. There was nothing on the outside here. So that's that. So the next part is we're going to pop it together here. Get the stuff. So I got the tube here, and I'm gonna pull the core out of it. This is a core removal tool. There's a bunch of different ones, but anyway, we're just gonna pull the core out of it, and yeah, jeez. And then just put a little bit of air into the tube. Doesn't need to be inflated. It just needs to have a little bit in there. And I don't have anything to really do it with besides I'm just gonna blow it up with my mouth here, but first I'll wipe it off. A little bit of alcohol just in case there's something funky on there. And just gonna, just so you got some general puffiness to it. Anyway, then the tire here, we're gonna get that installed on here. Make sure there's no shavings in there yet. I think we're good. Alright, what I did here is I have some dish soap and just dish soap and water mix here. So normal tire install stuff. I'll set the rim down. Actually, I'm going to set this old tire down, then the rim, so I have something to kind of push down on. And then I'm going to lube up the inside edge here of this. So get a little bit messy here. That's why I got the little table here. Just get it kind of wet. Just get it wet. Doesn't need to be too crazy. It should just slides right on there then. That's the advantage of this particular tire is it's much easier to install. I do have tried some other ones that don't even go on there, and I've saw some videos of people grinding it down with a Dremel or something. So do your homework and make sure you get the right tire. So then we just work the rim in the rest of the way, and it's not super hard, but it's not easy either. These are definitely not really made for doing what this is, but so we'll jump ahead here, and I'll show you I gotta get the tube in there anyway, so I can do that before I get too crazy. So a good idea to know where the valve stem goes, so you put it in the right spot here. It's definitely a lot harder than like a car tire where it's nice and big. There we go. Oh boy. Getting the valve stem lined up. There we go. That's a trickier maneuver there, but here, let me show you where we're at now. So we got the valve stem in there, and it's poking through that hole that we popped in there. You can see that's like right above the magnet, so it's a safe area. And then we'll work our way down now and make sure we don't pinch the tube anywhere. So it's not too bad, but it's does take some finger strength, I guess. There we go. Got her. All right, so got it on there. And next thing is getting the lid on, or we'll get the stator in there, and then we will pop the cover on. So I'll jump back in here in a second. I'm gonna clean the soap off of here, and we'll jump back in just so it's not so slippery. Okay, so we got it all cleaned up. So now we're gonna put the stator back in. There's a little washer that goes on top up here. And I'll show you this. So on this one, these are the Hall effect wires in this cable here. I just cut that off, and this is like an RPM signal. I'm just cutting the connectors off so they're not in there making it harder for me to get it ran through different areas. So did that on this one, and I just taped it so we have a nice easy to go through this cover here. So we're just going to string it through. So now we got the cover ready to go. Fits on there, but I am going to install it without the cover first so you can kind of see it going in. There's a lot of magnetism in here, so keep your fingers out when you're putting it in, and try to be straight. So it's going to kind of suck it in there. There we go. So, and there's a bearing in the bottom where this shaft goes in, so you kind of got to roll it around and work it down. And you know when you're good when inside here you see where the row of magnets are, and then you see where the ferrite cores are for these coils. That should be level. So we're good here. So now I'm going to put the cover on. Something to note on the cover is see how I went quite a ways in and on this area here. That's probably not the best to get this far in, but the problem is on this side, when you're running the drill bit through, it tends to grab the bit and jam it down. So when you're doing this, try to be careful. Like I had here, I started the drill hole up at this line, but when I was tilting the bit to go out the side, it eats up down here, and you really got to work your way to get this hole up about a 1/4 inch from the outside edge, maybe 3/8. So it needs to be pretty close to the edge, because essentially the valve is coming out right at the line between the tire and this hub here. It's coming right there even with that edge of that metal. So you need to kind of stay with that. It's not ideal. This, you're definitely not going to be running this high speed anyway. So, but we'll put the cover on and we'll put the screws in, and we'll be ready to go. So, kind of got to work your way over the valve stem. If it's pushed too hard, if it's pushing the valve stem too hard towards the middle, you can take the sack off and file this hole a little bit further out towards the edge. But yeah, it works pretty good. It just takes a little bit of tinkering. And get it in there. Get these holes lined up before you really push it down. And then we'll suck it down with the screws. I made these little covers. So this will be handy too. You don't really need anything like this. You could just, put a piece of tape over this or something, just to keep the dirt and water from getting inside to mess up those coils. I made these little tabs, and what I'm going to do is silicone around them. So, but you could easily just use a little piece of duct tape too. It doesn't need to be fancy. If anybody wants these, I'm going to have them up on my Thingiverse, so I'll post that in the description, my link to the Thingiverse. Yeah, it's pretty tight. It screws onto the valve stem here, so. And that covers up that hole. Not much to that. And then let's put the cap on over the top, and that's ready to go, that part. And we'll put these screws in, and it will be ready to run. So, and not much to this. So the next step is I'll be jumping ahead to the install of these on the deck. I'm just going to put 2 of them on there, and we'll see how it works. And I still got to get the other ones prepped yet, so I didn't want to jump too far ahead anyway. So I'll see you guys in a little. Oh yeah, hold on. One more thing. These wires on here. Oh, I didn't show this inside. But when you have this apart, you can see which one's the A, B, and C. Based on where that wire goes to on the stator, they'll be in series. I wrote these down, so I'm going to get that, and I'm going to make some little labels for it here. Okay, I'm going to show you on this one here how to check those colors and how that works essentially. So you got the wire, wires coming down on here. You got yellow, green, and blue. Now you're going to look on here and see where each one of those wires goes to in the sequence over here. The Hall effect wires are also the same color. And so inside of here, if you follow these wires, they go down the tube in here and they come out. And you have your green, blue, and yellow over here. So you got, in this particular one, you got the colors would be green, blue, and yellow. And so this one is a different wiring than this one is, which I wrote these ones down as A phase is blue, green, and yellow. So they go, that blue and green are in different order on this one versus this one. So that's something you need to check. So I'm going to label them A, B, and C, and then heat shrink these little labels on there. And we'll trim these off of here as well. I don't think this can fit. Yeah, that's not going to fit over the top of those. I think these scissors can cut this. Yep, okay. So I just took some white heat shrink and I put the letter on there. So, so blue would be our A or 1. Anyway, oh, they're there. Oh, it's on the same thing. So then B's are green. And C is our yellow. I'll just shrink these on there. There we go. Not much to it, but just so we know which one goes where. All right, guys, let's get some stuff assembled on this finally. So these are the mounting blocks. This is the TPU material, so it's somewhat soft. It's pretty hard, but it will flex instead of break, which is important for these motors. They have a lot of torque on them, and I don't want to bust these out all the time. I have these, oh, and I forgot the, so like as little keyways in these, I have these little aluminum blocks. So that's on for the flat side of the motor. So inside of here, this little piece will go in as the motor's going in, and that will lock it in place essentially. So let's get this put together. I got everything kind of drilled out so you didn't have to watch me drilling stuff. So this is like a mounting plate for up front. These are the motor drivers. I mounted them in these little plastic boxes. So these are ready to go and sealed up. What I did is I sealed the heatsink to the outside of the box and put the electronics on the inside, so we can't, if this gets splashed with water, it's not going to get all wet inside anyway. So, all right, let's get her put together. The fun part finally. Also, these are drilled out really large. way bigger than I probably should have done it. But the idea behind that is that yes, it gives me room to kind of move things around a little bit, but it also, so once I get it into position, the TPU should flex a little bit and grab into the holes and kind of lock it in place, but it does give me some movement until when things aren't cranked down. I'm gonna give it a try. If not, I can always just reprint these with larger, or drill these holes out a little bit bigger and use bigger bolts. But I wanted to try one thing first. Give it a little bit of adjustment. So not much to it. These are the mounting holes for those like the driver boxes that goes on the top up here. And I can put those on. Well, I guess I can put these, the holders on, the back plates on first. So get the plate mounted up here. Good deal. Now we're gonna get the motor mounts hooked up. I do have these little holes on this end here. If we get too many torque issues, I can add a piece onto the deck here to secure these more, but I don't think that's going to be necessary. I just was trying to think ahead in case I wanted to add something there. What I would need to do is kind of get this corner's really rounded here, so I may have to adjust that even. Maybe I'll change the design so it goes deeper in, but I'm just gonna go with it as is. I don't want to reprint these until I know these are not gonna work or whatever. So it's a work in progress, baby. Okay, got these swapped to the inside. Now let's get the wheels mounted up. The best part, let's get these installed. So let's tip this down a little bit here. Okay. So there's the flat side. There's the little key. It's going to go into this keyway area on the wheel for the flat side. These wires fed through here, and Okay. Get in there. Oh boy. All right. That one's in. Let's get this one on, and we can take a block of wood and a hammer or something. Okay, now we're ready to get it wired up. The wheels are on. Everything's tightened up. Got all the nuts and bolts all cranked down. The battery box is got some big magnets on the bottom holding it in place, but I'll be careful. I'm not gonna be running this super fast or anything here. So, but just kind of getting everything together here. I do want to work on securing things, getting some conduit to run the wires from here to the box, just so nothing gets cut or anything on the way. So there's some work that needs to be done. I'll have to probably, I'm for sure going to have to take this all apart when I get done with it, and just to paint it and everything. So that's coming up. But I just want to get these tested out and see if we can kind of drive it around a little bit by the end of the video. So these wires here, these are the Hall effect wires. On this, there's a little plug here. I got the same kind of thing going on over here. I soldered these to the existing wires instead of trying to make the plug thing. That way these are clean. I got these are the 3-phase wires for the hub motor. And so we got the 3 over here and 3 over here. And we're not going to use this RPM signal for either one of them. But let's get this wired up in the box. So we'll probably speed this process up here a little bit and jump back in, and we'll give it a test. So. Okay, here comes the fun part, I guess. We got power on both of these. The lights are lit up. And now we're going to, there's a little, let me get, here's one of the boards. It's another style that's not going to work, but essentially it has a similar setup on it. There's a rheostat here that you can override the inputs on it and just make the wheel work or the motor work without having any input from other systems. So we're going to just test these out using that. So there's kind of hard to see in these little boxes. There we go. Pretty quiet. There we go. The one thing is these run opposite directions because the motors are going to be actually they're running the same direction, but the orientation means the wheels are going to turn opposite directions by default. So that's going to be one of the things with this is we need to send it a signal to run in reverse on the one side. But for now, we can at least kind of test these out. There we go. We haven't blown any fuses yet, so I call that good. So now I'm going to hook up the some electronics here. I do have an Arduino to control these. You could use this. There's a RC mixer that'll mix the signals to allow both of them to turn the same direction, and for proportional speeds on it. But since I'm going to put an Arduino in the middle already, I'm just doing the mixing on there. I'm going to have to come up with a better way of doing it, of course, because I do want this to like be a follow me robot and some other things that it can do for me. So, but I'll build that up over time, but I just want to get it working so I can control it with a remote control for right now. All right, here we go, guys. I got it off of the stand. We're ready to test this out. Expectations here is the battery's pretty heavy and those front wheels are stationary. Eventually we're going to have all four wheels with the motor, hub motors. So this isn't going to steer incredibly well, but I think I can kind of maneuver around a little bit, just kind of see how this is going to work. And so we can kind of crawl ahead, crawl back, and then gonna do a little bit of turning here. It's making a bit of a mess on my floor, but there we go. That's how she goes. It's gonna be fast. Anyway, all right. Now we got to get the other two wheels on. So, but this will be good for these videos, and we're gonna keep working on it, and next video I'll have those other two wheels and motors installed, and we can start working on getting things more secure anyway, and maybe take this outside for a little bit of a test where it's maybe not gonna mess up my house anyway.